morning. So I'm currently parked at Chautauqua Park in Boulder. I spent the night sneaky camping against somebody's fence line in a quiet neighborhood in Boulder because that felt safest for me. It went totally fine and it was easy, but it's still a little bit stressful. It's like, am I gonna get a knock? Am I disturbing anybody? So I left at 6 in the morning because I was like, I don't want anybody to be like, why is there this van parked on our street? Who's in it? So I went to this park. It's crazy how long everything takes in a van. So I got here around 6:30 this morning. It's 8:20. Like, all I've done this morning is tidy, get dressed, take Toast for a short walk, and make my like morning beverages, and I'm about to start cooking breakfast. The thing about being in a van is you can only do one thing at a time. So it's like you make your beverages and then you clean up everything. And then you get dressed and then you clean up everything because it's a really small space. But I'm sort of learning and I'm figuring out the ropes. I'm definitely feeling like a little bit tender this morning because it is my first morning on my own. And it's definitely weird to have my first morning be in a city instead of like camping in nature. It just feels like, I don't know, like I don't want to intrude on anybody in this city. This is their city, it's not my city. I don't know if I'm like fully allowed to park here, how long I can stay here. I also have to work on morning person today, which is like my major task of the day. So it's not like an exciting, fun day. I love working on morning person, but it's like, it's work, it's computer work that I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to make some breakfast and then sort of see how I feel about staying in this area and using my Starlink to work versus maybe finding a coffee shop. Oh, also, I don't think that I've mentioned this, but the reason that I stayed in Boulder today instead of going back up to Estes Park is because there was like a crazy high winds warning, and I've parked on the mountaintop sort of around Estes Park, and the past few days have been crazy windy, and the winds were supposed to basically double from what I've experienced. So I was like, that's way too much. And even in Boulder, it was crazy. In the middle of the night, this gust of wind, because the wind shakes the van. So there was a gust of wind that felt like an earthquake. Like, it was literally like I could hear it coming, and then it went, and the whole van shook like that. So if that's what's happening down here, I can only imagine what it was like up in the mountains. I'm sitting on my floor because I just filled my fridge with groceries from a Whole Foods shop. And one thing that I'm realizing is that after going from over a year of living with my partner to living on my own, I have no idea how to shop for myself and how much I eat on my own, let alone how to cook for myself. So I can show you a little bit of what I got. I only need it for about 2 days. There we go, panning over. But there are certain things like feta cheese. I don't know, like, will I be able to make it through this by myself before it goes bad? I'm pretty sure I will. I honestly don't know if I bought like way too much food or way too few foods. But the good news is that this can be kind of a trial because I only need to shop for 2 to 3 days because I'm going back up to Estes Park and sort of that mountainy area, and then I'll be coming back through Boulder before going south is the plan. So it should be good. Have you guys tried these? It's really good. It's this brand Heyday. And I will say that the flavor generally is not like that strong. Like, it's not super strong on the kimchi, but it just adds like a nice flavor to some beans. I got one with the pop top lid because I don't have a can opener. I was proud of myself for remembering that. And then I also got a bunch of these little peewee potatoes, which are so good, and I've been cooking in my little oven. All right, well, we found our campground for the night. It's nothing too special. It's really just a pull out on the side of a pretty quiet highway. But it's in national forest, so I'm allowed to camp here, and it's starting to get dark. So I wanted to reach my campground before nighttime, just to sort of get my bearings and know where I am. But this is home for the night. Well, I just did easily my least favorite part of van life. It's not emptying the toilet. It's not making sure I have fresh water to drink. It's not finding a place to sleep at night. It's going out in the pitch black at a campground where you're the only person on the side of the road to let your dog out to pee. Super, super scary, but we made it. Good morning. So this is the first morning in days, possibly the entire time, when I haven't had to wake up and immediately drive the van somewhere because I was trying to make it to a trailhead before it filled up, or for a sunrise hike, or to haul ass out of a neighborhood that I was sneaky camping in. And honestly, I've just been taking my sweet, sweet time. It's currently 9:30. I think that this entire day is going to be really laid back. Today is the day that the post went live on intention setting and moving slower. I'm going to practice what I preach today. I haven't had like a rest and recovery day in the van, so I have my matcha, I'm about to make breakfast, and I'm just going to see where this chill day takes me. Where do you go?
Right, let me actually be brave enough.
Oh my God, just getting back to the van. I ended up doing an 8-mile trail run. I sort of thought that maybe I would do like 3 miles today, but I felt really good, so I went for it. And I haven't been training recently for running, so it felt really good to get back into things. Very tired though. I just had a surprisingly easy time finding a campground at the trailhead where I did my run. I saw that there's a sign for some dispersed campsites up ahead, and we found one pretty easily. It's a really beautiful area. There's a couple of people camped in RVs that way, but it feels like they're far away enough that they can't see me, and that feels safe. Toast is exploring a little bit, but I'm gonna get us both some dinner, and ooh, I could have built a fire, but I don't know, it feels too advanced for right now. Come on, you hungry? Okay. Toast is off exploring on leash, and I'm about to test out the indoor shower. Honestly, that was not bad.
Late movie in the middle of the week. I'm crazy.
Good morning. I just put Toast on his long leash so that he can get up to whatever trouble while I'm making breakfast and I don't have to pay full attention to him. But this is one of my last days in this part of Colorado just because the weather forecast looks a little bit sketchy coming up. I don't know exactly what today has in store for me, but I know I want to find a hike, do some work. I also drove through the town of Nederland yesterday and it looked so cute, and there's a couple of spots that I really want to check out. So I'm going to start on breakfast and get my morning going and see where the day takes me. Okay, so you know the bagel plan, or like the feed myself any food plan? It's currently 12:30 in the afternoon, and I just got completely sucked into doing some computer work, which is really good because it is work that I had to do and I wasn't feeling inspired to do, and I just like was on a tear this morning. But I have not eaten a bite of food, and also I'm not really feeling like moving the van today, so I might stay here another night, but I'm gonna make myself some breakfast right now because I am starving. I'm about to go for a walk. I think I'll be gone for about an hour. And so I wanted to see how much the van charges just from solar during that time. So right now, that's at 60.1% of like the full capacity that it has. So I'll check back when I'm back. True to form, I spent an hour and a half on my hike instead of an hour, but we can still check to see. So it's at 64.1%. I think it was at 60 or 61% when I left. So that's 3 to 4% in 90 minutes, which is pretty cool considering it's just charged through solar. Where is it? Really testing things with the water right now. We're very close to empty.
It was the first time.
Let's go outside. Let's go potty. Hello. So Toast and I are about to leave the campsite that we've been at for 2 days. And if you'll remember, we did not plan on staying this long. So we're actually in dire need of a couple of different resources. We're ready to go. First up is water. I'm completely out of water. I have the water that's in my water bottles, and Toast has plenty of water, but there's no water in the tank of the van. So I need to go fix that. I also have now been craving a bagel for 2 days. So I definitely need that. And I am in like desperate need of washing my hair. There's a reason that you have not seen the top of my head for 2 days. Hi, Toast. Good boy. Well, I did wear my favorite hat to the dog park and it became a chew toy. That's okay. Hi. I just got back from a 3-mile little recovery shakeout run around Estes Lake with Toast, and if you can't tell, I am in desperate need of a shower. So I'm gonna head to the rec center, which is super close by, and maybe do like a little workout there, take a shower, get cleaned up. I'm so excited. Oh, it's fabulous. Are you helping me? Are you helping me? Oh. Hello. So I really dropped the ball on my vlogging duties yesterday, but that's because there was sort of this unexpected turn of events. I ended up DMing someone who I follow on Instagram. I followed her for years, and I remembered that she lives in Estes Park, and I just had a feeling that we would hit it off. And so I sent her a message, just asked her if she wanted to grab tea or go for a hike. So we met for tea. We ended up not being able to stop talking for so long that then we went to dinner, and then I ended up spending the night at her house because she generously invited me over because she knows how van life can be. And so it ended up being this like completely unexpected connection and new friend, and I'm just feeling really good and like really encouraged by the possibility of meeting people on the road. This is really the first person that I've met where I've made like this real genuine connection. So I've stayed in Estes Park for an extra day, and I'm just kind of doing work, running errands, but it's been this sort of nice like go with the flow. But today is really just like getting back into the groove of things. She let me use her washer dryer, which was so nice, so I could wash my bedding and do that. So yeah, just, you know, kind of seeing where this takes me, and that's sort of part of the fun of it, that it can be that spontaneous. You meet a friend and you say, okay, I'll spend an extra day here.
So you might remember that against all odds, the
Morning. Morning. I just made it to Boulder and I parked at the Mount Sanitas trailhead, which my friend Drew highly recommended. And I'm just boiling some water now this morning, but I wanted to explain. So basically you haven't seen me, or you've seen very little of me for the past day and a half. I don't know, I tended to a lot of things that I didn't get done the day before, and I just felt a little bit tender and not fully like filming myself. So I just listened to that, and then I spent the night in Lyons. I parked in a friend's driveway and made it to Boulder this morning. And this morning, after a really good night's sleep, I think I slept like 9 hours last night, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really energized. I'm like excited to film my day, which is where I always want to be coming from. Today's plan is to run a couple of errands in Boulder, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna head south through, I was gonna go through sort of the desert route, but I'm gonna go through the mountains because there's no snow, there's no snow on the forecast. So I think I'm gonna head to Breckenridge today, but first a hike. Wow. Oh my God, look at him gallop. Hi, Toasty. I just parked in the Whole Foods parking lot, and it's been honestly a pretty magical day in Boulder. I went for this glorious hike. I run some errands. I got to walk around Pearl Street and see that whole really cute area. But I just had a slight incident. So when I first got the van, I have these cute little surf racks on the side, pending for later this year. And when I drove the van out, the guys at Boho, where I got the van built, were like, you know, just be careful, because anybody who gets surf racks or gets surf, you know, racks on the side of their van almost inevitably ends up like clipping something with them. And I was like, cool, roger that. I'm a super careful driver. Like, don't worry about it. So I'm pulling into the parking lot into a spot in REI earlier today, and I clipped somebody's bumper tail light. And it was like this, like even talking about it right now, I'm like, oh, there was just this total pit in my stomach. I was like, fuck, like I've never hit somebody in a parking lot. I've definitely been in fender benders, but I've never hit somebody when they're not even there. And I was like, oh my God, I was just thinking about what I would feel like if I came back to the van, my baby, and someone had hit it. So I wrote a note. For the briefest of seconds, was like, I'm just gonna peel out of here and this will never have happened, but like I don't have that in me. So I wrote a note, and I'm truly getting nervous, like even talking about this. And I ended up just sitting in the van and waiting for the person to return, because I was like, I would kind of rather have this conversation in person. So finally, these two guys walk out of REI and they go to their truck, and I hop out of the van. I was like, hey guys, like I need to talk to you really quick. I'm so sorry. I clipped your tail light as I was pulling in, and you could just see the driver's face, like it just totally fell. And we ran around to the back to look at it, and he was like, oh, like this little scratch? And I was like, yeah, that little scratch. And he was like, oh my God, you're fine. Like, don't worry about it. A car's a car. And I was like, can I give you my phone number just in case you change your mind? And he was like, no, don't worry about it. Just like go on with your day. This was not a big deal. So it just, it like completely alleviated all of the nervousness and the terror that I had, and I was just met with so much kindness, and they were both really, really sweet. And so I just want this to be a reminder that it's like, don't sweat the small stuff. I don't know. It was so appreciative. Like I sort of wish that they'd taken my number just in case it was a tiny scratch, but it just meant the world to me that they gave me so much grace, and I was able to have this experience where I could learn this lesson. And now I'm going to be way more careful even than I was before with my little surf racks on the side pulling into spots. So I'm going to go get some groceries now. Toast, by the way. I just got a little more than halfway to Breckenridge, but it's 8:30 and I start to get really tired around this time. So I decided to stop driving in Idaho Springs, but I'm going to park in a parking lot where I'm not totally sure that I'm allowed to spend the night. So I'm getting everything ready now. I'm sort of parked outside like a Starbucks right now. And I'm just like I just spent the last hour driving and I made it about halfway to Breckenridge. I'm in a town called Idaho Springs, and I decided to stop driving because it's 8:30 at night, and even though that might be early for some, I start to get really tired around this time. So I did some research and I found a parking lot where a lot of people online say that you can spend the night, but I'm not positive about it. So what I've done is I have currently pulled off in like a Starbucks parking lot, and I'm just getting everything ready for the night here. So I set up Toast's crate. This is where he sleeps at night. It's his little fold-up crate, and I cover this in blankets at night. And usually this lives like tucked in next to the passenger seat. Currently though, you know, he's resting on my bed. I'm gonna wash my face, I'm gonna eat my dinner, so that by the time I pull into this parking lot, I'm like fully ready for bed and I don't have to turn on any lights or make any sound. So that's my plan. Also, the big reason I wanted to stop driving, another big reason in addition to exhaustion, is that I want to see this area. Like, I'm driving these windy, beautiful roads at night, and I can tell that there's a river next to me, but I can't see any of it. So I'm really looking forward to being able to see it in the morning. Also, I'm just going to share, I'm currently sitting up on my sink right now, and this might be a quirky, weird thing, but one thing I do every night when I haven't had a chance to shower is I wash my feet. I just feel like I went on a trail run today, and like I'm okay with, my body feels pretty okay. I didn't sweat that much. I don't feel that gross or dusty, but like my feet definitely got dusty, and I don't want them to get into my clean bed. So in case you were wondering if I'm like fully a gross fool, I like mostly am, but I keep the feet clean. Here's a really unsexy part of van life. I go to the bathroom in a compost toilet, which separates the liquids from the solids, but it means that I need to get rid of both. So right now I'm getting rid of the liquids. They're right here in this cute little tote. And basically I'm just gonna go into the bathroom at this lovely Starbucks. I'll obviously order myself a matcha, and I'm gonna dump it down the toilet and flush it. Not cute, but also that's what you do. Good boy, good boy. Okay, a bit of an update and a little bit of a detour, but when I was on my way driving to Breckenridge, I stopped at a Starbucks and I noticed that people had ski boots and skis in their car. So I went over and chatted with them, and I learned that today is the opening day of Keystone. And I've never been to Keystone, but it's basically a quick detour on the way to Breckenridge. So I decided to make that detour. I have an Icon Pass. This is on Epic Pass, but because it's pretty shit skiing today, there's only 2 runs open. It's all fake snow. I was able to find a really good deal on a lift ticket. So I'm just gonna go with my heart. It felt like kismet that it was open today. I have my skis in my van. So I'm gonna go hit a couple runs while I'm in the neighborhood. Okay, I don't know. I also have another update, and it's sort of a more tender update, but it might explain why I also feel so called to do something that is so important to me and that I love so much, which is skiing, and it just feels like a core part of me. 2 weeks ago, while my boyfriend and I were in Canyonlands, we actually made the decision to break up. There was a lot of love in that decision. There's a lot of love between us and a lot of respect, which is why we decided to continue doing the van journey together. He got me set up in Colorado. It was a really beautiful and tender time to be able to spend that time together. But ultimately, I love him so much, but there just seems to be this compatibility issue with the two of us where we just have a really, really hard time being together and creating a life together. And so it reached this point where it was mutual and we had a conversation about it and we decided, okay, maybe we are better off as friends. He's my favorite person in the world to have a conversation with. He's one of my favorite people in the world, period. But it just felt like it's just not working romantically. So it's been a really big week to have dropped him off at the airport and to be exploring and being completely solo and on my own in a really major way. But it's also felt really good and really empowering. And I'm just, on my way here, I was listening to the Chicks album, Gaslighter, and I just started crying because it just felt like I feel so empowered and so grateful right now. And I feel so in my own power and in my own ability in a way that I've never felt before. And while I'm experiencing the heartbreak and the sadness of a breakup, I'm also just feeling this like unbelievable strength and deep awareness of beauty. I don't know where my life is heading, and I feel like that's actually like making this feeling of gratitude and beauty more heightened. That it's like, I have no idea. Like, I'm 33 years old. Am I gonna have a life partner? There's all these huge question marks. But I'm just really appreciating, enjoying the moment. I'm just focusing on my own healing. And I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm really grateful to go hit the slopes. All right, see you soon, little dude.
Fly fish.
Yeah.
I've never really gotten into it.
Yeah.
You want to flick?
Just did a super quick 5 runs, but it was so good. I'm so glad I did this. I met a group of people and we're on like a group chat now. So we're gonna get together later in the season to go skiing. Honestly, like 10 out of 10. Toast! Hi, baby! Did you have a good nap? Hi, baby! Okay, wait. And we're back. That was an amazing little detour, well worth it. Although I do need to go finish Sunday edition like immediately. It is very late today, but I hope you'll excuse the tardiness because that was a pretty incredible morning. But I am now about to head out to Breckenridge. I'm gonna find a beautiful spot to go do some work, to give Toast a little walk, and send that out. Side note, I really love these.
Next weekend on July.
Yeah, was that a good little dinner break? We were planning on driving to Salida tonight, but I pulled over when I saw a sign for dispersed camping. And honestly, it's kind of crazy that it's one of the least beautiful places that I've been today, and it's stunning.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm currently in Crestone and I just got back from kind of a wild hike. I thought that I was going for like a couple miles. It ended up being 10 miles and 3,000 feet of elevation. So while it was really exciting and spontaneous, I'm glad that I brought a shit ton of water because I needed it. But anyways, it's so wild to finish this week off, or this 10 days, however long it's been, with this hike where I just felt like so strong during the hike, because starting out this week in Boulder, I just felt like so unsure of myself. And just to get through it, I had to keep reminding myself of how brave I am to do this, which sounds really self-centered, but it also is just this truth. Like doing this whole van thing is, honestly, it's really scary. It's really overwhelming. I feel like a lot more people would do it if it wasn't so scary, but it's also those terrifying parts and getting through them that make this such a sweet experience. And sitting here now, exhausted, about to eat dinner, I'm filled with such an unbelievable sense of gratitude, looking out over this beautiful landscape, listening to the birds singing their evening songs, while I'm sitting in Birdie, my van. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope that it does impart some inspiration. I'm trying to just really share what it's like to do this, the glamorous and the not glamorous, but the truth is that there's nothing that I would rather be doing. And if this week held all of this, I can't wait to see what this year holds. But it's just, I don't know, like the surprises keep coming.